I'm okay. Mark Zuckerberg, got a bone to pick for you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, let's
this
talk.
whole go live thing with Zoom and Facebook Live is a beat.
Oh,
Because
okay.
if I'm live and I still got to type in all my title and my tags and like all my different stuff like while I'm live, that's not good user
Yeah,
experience.
not really.
No, that's just me like typing while you're over there like just chatting. Makes me look like I don't care what you're saying.
Yeah, it's not the best experience.
It's not.
I don't think he cares though.
Oh, I don't think he cares about much of anything.
Uh,
He's
yeah,
Zuck.
he is the Zuck.
He is the Zuck.
Oh man, how was yesterday, Bill?
It was good. It was very productive. I had a good day. Um, I did miss out, as I told you, on a score that I've been
Check it
waiting
out.
on in the mail. Holy
That
cow!
yeah,
But hopefully I might get to get that mid morning. Get to pick up my packages. So that really consumes my brain all between like 10 and 2 p.m. yesterday. It was like, so
just
when
like
am my stuff
scratching.
getting here? So yeah, my production levels were like, but I hit it hard till 10, and then I hit it hard after 2, and got everything done. So I'm good. How
Nice.
about you? How was your day?
Man, swamped. Really, really busy. We had a good call with the team, which I can now talk about it a little bit. There's
Yeah,
this software that is great for your e-commerce marketers that we are going to help sell in a project I'm working on, and uses some pretty incredible AI to show you exactly where you need to be doubling down, and what's working and what and eventually it'll show you exactly where you're missing opportunities. Like that's like the next version of this thing. And I'm not a media buyer like at all, but damn, this thing was clean and smooth. So yeah.
that's cool.
So
That's cool.
they're in beta with it right now. So I'm looking for all the ecom agency owners to talk to have conversations with, show this to them, get their feedback, talk about how we're going to position it and sell it. Then I get to build a sales team and we go from there.
Is it just for agency owners, or like could ecom contractors afford it too?
Um, so the way that it's working is that it's taking a percentage of the ad spend, right?
Right.
Or there's a dollar amount. If you're under a certain dollar amount, it's just $100 a month.
Okay, so if you're willing to give away part of your
Yeah.
spend, then it doesn't
But
matter where you are.
think about all the e-commerce marketers who go to owners and say, "Hey, I think we should do this," and they say, "Oh no, we don't need that." Right? This alleviates that concern, right? Hey, we need to beef up the middle of the funnel with some more content or something like this. Oh
Right.
no, we
Right.
don't. Okay, well now this shows you
Yeah, data
that
says we do. So
yeah, the data says we do. So
cool.
data-driven marketing, man.
Sounds fun.
It's yeah, it's pretty legit.
Cool. What else? What else happened yesterday?
We had a call with the book coach, me and Melissa, and that was awesome. So now those two are connected, and I can take a step back, which is fantastic. Michael and I had our first session of 2 sessions. The second one starts at 9 a.m. today. We went over his kind of like lead forms because they were long. And I was like, man, you're causing a lot of friction, buddy. And we kind of talked through why it was so long, and it's just a matter that he's a C and
Yes.
wants to collect a lot of information. And I'm like, man, believe me, I get it. Like I'm the same way. But we have the ability to collect a lot of this on the phone. And if people see a contact form that's super daunting, they have to be really invested to actually fill it out. So, if it's not that, then let's qualify some of this on the phone. Now, as your time becomes more in demand, then we can scale up the qualification of the form because, you need more of your time back. But he's not really there yet. So
Well, what's crazy is when I went through a conversion optimization certification, one of the main tricks that people used that actually needed like a lot of data, was actually part of something to see if they were actually even a fit, not like a ideal, like we can't help you unless you do these 9 things.
yeah.
It was actually an industrial company that I was working with, and was it lead forms? I think is that the one that's super simple that a lot of people use. Anyway, the point was like just switching from one form to like 3 pages or 4 pages
Mhm.
doesn't interrupt to you, so that the first 3, there's only 3 questions on the first one. and you type in the first 3 fields and hit next,
Yep.
3 more, next, 3 more, and like the conversion rates went up like 60%. It was stupid, and
Oh.
just because people don't want to see 17 fields, it's like,
Yeah.
I just laugh. So like I'll say these things out loud, and I'll see people's faces sometimes when I'm speaking about stuff like this, and they're like, okay, yeah, sure, yeah, okay, but like we're such dumb little animals that like the difference between 3 fields and 17 fields will literally stop us from doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, we with Michael's, what we're actually going to do is we're going to put, because now he's got the form to his scheduler link, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to put the scheduler link first, and that will collect some of the information that we need on the contact form, and then we don't need to collect it again on the contact form. So that'll shorten it up even a little bit more, and people will have a nice commitment to consistency lever after scheduling the appointment. Hey, to make the best use of this time, some additional information would be helpful.
Exactly.
If you can't fill this up, that's okay,
Mhm.
but we will have to cover this on the call.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, just step it out. That's great. Go.
Oh my gosh, this hair.
This dog, holy cow.
So today we're going over his conversational process. Like what's going to happen on the calls, what does he need to qualify for, good fit versus bad fit, all that stuff. So that was good. We recorded a podcast episode last night. Me and the crew talked about the worst and best sales advice you have ever gotten, and I kind of take a shot at Gittimer, because I think he's got some bad advice, but we kind of talked through that, talk about good advice, and yeah, it was good.
So you got some commentary.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Michelle loves the curls.
Yeah, of course she does.
Gabe loves the curls, actually.
Thanks, Gabe. Thanks, Michelle.
Yeah. Levi has nothing to say but good morning, but that's good enough.
Yeah, that's good enough.
And Catherine Nolan, is that your sister?
Yeah, it's my sister.
Whoa, brother, that hair though.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. She is jealous because I have the good hill hair.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I can relate to her because I got the bad Jordan hair.
Actually, you have the same Jordan haircut.
You know what? Me and Michael. That's right. I'm okay with that. Same birthday, same haircut. Let's roll.
That's funny.
Go.
Same shoes.
Same shit. Oh, don't get me started.
No, yeah, I know.
Don't see now you got my brain there.
I know.
Yeah.
This is what happens when I shower and it just air dries. Like, this is what it looks like. So when it's under a hat, you guys are welcome. When it doesn't look like this, you guys are welcome. That's just pure effort is what that is.
That's good. That's good.
It makes my so my hair was not this long, and I was at a comedy show, and after the comedy show, this guy named Josh Johnson, he's a funny dude. I was like, "Hey man, great show," and he was like, "Man, do you know who you look like?" And I was like, "Who?" Right? Because like I get kind of like a rotating list of common characters,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd never heard this one before. And he goes, Al Franken. And I was like, Senator Al Franken? And he was like, yeah. This is before his
Saturday Night Live fame.
Yeah. This is before all that stuff came out, And I was, because like my hair was kind of long, like it wasn't anywhere near this long, but I mean it was long for the time, and I was just like, man, I don't know that that's a compliment, but thank you. I mean, it was funny.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to get from a comedian, right?
Yeah. So
Levi loves the curls. He's in.
Okay. All right.
So you got 100%. You're 5 for 5, 6 for 6, whatever it is. So what's the plan on that? Is that just go until it gets caught like a superhero, like in a plane when you're flying, it becomes a road hazard, or?
The arrangement stands. As long as I get baked treats every 2 weeks, I will not cut the hair. Last weekend, maybe, I think it was last weekend. Melissa made these like apple blondies, which are like brownies with like apples. So it was like an apple pie brownie, and dude, delicious.
Man,
just shaking the head over there.
Man.
So
I might have to start trading Jordans for sweets.
Yeah. Well, assuming I have not destroyed them all by the time you get here.
That's true. I'll have to get Melissa
Yeah,
Give
for
us some
sure.
timing. Yes. What time did these come out of the oven?
Yeah, so I had a good call with that. And my day was crazy. Let's see.
Seth Rogen. Gabe says more Seth Rogen.
Gabe says more like Seth Rogen. Yeah, I get, if I just had
Hair
that
wise, I
laugh.
can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, if I just had that laugh, I would be amazing.
That's the best. He's the best laugh.
Oh man. Yeah, what do you got today, Bill?
I've got a busy day, man.
Yeah,
This is like another Thursday for me.
tell me about it. What do you got?
Well, it's more the same. Largely, I've got two calls. I've got actually a story brand session with a friend of mine. So we're just going to take it through his website and kind of reset that. And then I have another friend who's paying me, so he's a client.
Yay!
Yay! Who I'm actually going to be writing a script for a set of videos for him for lead generators.
Oh, cool.
So we're going to test out some lead generators. It's going to be a set of 3 videos that people go through. So I'm writing the scripts for those today, and then I'm writing a whole bunch of more content for clients and Quirk as a client as well.
Wow.
So
Okay.
heavy screenwriting, novel writing day. Lots of that.
Man,
How about you?
A lot of writing. I have this. I have 2 hours with Michael. Go over his conversational process. Got fourth quarter planning with one of the projects, the real estate thing. Levi and I are chatting at 1. Bring your A game, Levi. And then I have a client engagement. We're going to be going through building out some pain statements and a pain matrix for a new client, James, that we're looking for a closer for.
Okay.
And then, I'll be done at 4:30 because yesterday was my long day. It was agreed on. It had already been talked about, so it does not count. It does not dissolve me from the bill bet. But
Right.
today I'll be done at 4:30, which will be great for Alice. She's taken Ziggy's passing a little rough, so yeah, I'm trying to get done with that. Today I will finish up my time of playing in this new system. I didn't get as much done as I would like to, but at least I'm in there playing with it, getting acclimated, trying to build some good habits around it. And yeah.
Cool. Okay. Why don't we go ahead and get next week out of the way here so we don't forget? I've got mine. What about you? Do you know what you want?
Well, tell me what yours are.
Okay. So I got the 10 asks. I just need to keep that routine. It still needs to be part of my bill bet until it's second nature. The 10 asks is the work one. The personal growth is actually, I want to spend some time in prep for our 12-week prep.
Yeah.
Kind of merging some of my life planning stuff in with how the 12 weeks is going to go for me on my side. So I'm going to make that a personal one. And then family, I'm actually going to walk/jog/run, whatever, with my son 3 times next week.
Nice.
So he was showing some interest, so I'm going to give him the opportunity. Kind of like you with Alice with meditation. I'm not going to push anything on him. He asked, so yeah, absolutely, bro. But you got to get up at way earlier than you normally do if you want to go with me. So,
that's awesome.
That's my next week. We really do have our 12-week plan next week.
We do.
Session, and we're gonna record it and do some speed up, but hopefully get you all the good parts.
Yeah, for sure. So
that's mine. What about you?
So mine is I need an intern/partner.
Tell me more. What do you need from this person?
I need someone to handle overflow stuff, basic tasks. I've got meetings, so having somebody there to kind of double me would be fantastic. Stuff I can say, okay, go through these Zoom calls, pull out these actionable items, and let's knock those out. So some basic to-do list stuff, some help.
It's like an executive assistant, just with some skill sets.
Kinda, maybe, yeah.
Okay.
Thinking about asking a friend of mine's son. He's in college at TCU. Of hey, would your son be interested in learning some of this stuff and working with me on an intern basis that hopefully translates to a paid basis? Because my my time is about to change pretty significantly if a little bit of inside baseball here. I'm getting tapped to build out some sales teams for some different projects and stuff like that. And so I need somebody who's really good at recruiting, right? You know, like writing posts, getting them out there, handling some vetting, building some systems around that, because I'm going to need like a small army of salespeople pretty quickly. And so somebody who can help me with that would be fantastic.
Remind me to chat with you about that off air.
Roger that.
I have some thoughts.
Okay. So I need to really kind of figure out what that role is going to look like. You know, who's going to do it, and really what I need from like a job description and disc perspective. You know, I'm looking for something very, very specific disc wise. Right. So I need to, what's that?
Well, disc wise, what are you looking for and why?
Looking for,
it'd be interesting to talk about.
I'm looking for a DC, somebody who is just purely task driven. I don't really need them to be people driven at all. Like I can handle that. And then this person very specifically will be kind of this right-handed person. And then I had this idea last night as I was journaling. You know, I like to bring people in and partner with them and all of this stuff. And I need that balance. And so what I have figured out is I do better whenever I partner with like really like empathic people. Like I consider you a very empathic person. You know, and so that kind of does two things in my mind. It makes me more focused on that because, man, I get task driven and all that stuff falls away, but it also kind of serves as a buffer between me and the people who will be under them who, I come on a little strong sometimes, Jake. I don't know if you've realized that or not.
The hair.
Yeah, it's the hair. Yeah.
It's intimidating.
I'm Samson over here. I just get stronger as it grows out.
Holy cow.
So I need to figure that out. I need to shake some trees and put together a list of people and figure out if I'm going to do like a friend partner thing or like an intern thing or something else along those lines. Health wise, I'm going to, okay, so my wrist is healing, but I can't really like press off of it yet. So, I saw a improve your vertical leap kind of program, which I was like, well, that would be interesting because it's just like a lot of like mobility training and band training and stuff, and it wouldn't involve my wrist at all. So I'm thinking about getting like something along those lines because, man, how cool would it be if, you know, man, the 40-year-old dude with the hair can dunk. I just think that would be a cool.
Well, it's great. Whatchamacallit, core training too, which
absolutely.
Anything jumping related is fantastic for core. That's awesome. Yeah.
Plyometric training, all that stuff. So I've got a couple of those saved and I'm going to look at them and figure out which one I want to do and then kind of work on that. And then also I'm reaching out to my Kung Fu circle to get some videos on stuff that I want to work on, you know, like there's some Qigong breathing techniques that we have learned and certain weapons that I have that I've kind of developed some rust on and going to start, you know, swinging swords and staffs around doesn't really irritate the wrist. And I think it helps actually strengthen everything up. So I'm trying to do a little bit of that.
Okay.
Well, for PT. That little PT. And then for the family, I just want to keep the 4:30 thing going for like another week because it was nice. It was a nice reset. It's very much.
You know what my favorite part about it is that it's you showing your family that you are intentionally putting them first. Like if nothing else, I think that's a really great gesture just to go, look, I care about y'all a lot. And y'all know how much I love working. So I'm going to stop at 4:30.
Yeah.
So I don't even think that has to be ongoing for everything. I think just by even going through spurts of it is really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Hold on, I'm writing this down. You know, it was weird because, you know, I've had a week of doing this at I think 4, and then this week is 4:30, and it was really weird yesterday to like work past that. Right. So it's interesting how quickly we can fall into the routine of it.
It doesn't have to take super long.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Yep. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. So what else we got today?
I don't know, man.
We had a couple of guests that we're talking about trying to get on. So we're hoping on a future Friday to have Shout
Who
out to
should
Jason.
be a guest, right? You know,
That's a good question.
if you watch the show, right, and this is for the people who are watching, right? Who would you like to have, or who would you like to see on here? Would is it productivity people who are really onto this as well? Is it business owners? Is it salespeople? Is it, you know, like who would, like, what kind of value, or what would you get value from if you're watching and you feel so inclined to answer?
Mhm.
Um, because yeah, you know, we got a guy, Jason Croft, who is a super cool guy, and we kind of floated the idea, or I kind of floated the idea, and he was like, "Yeah, I would love to be on it." And
Mhm.
Jake introduced me and Jason together. So, um, but yeah, I'm curious,
Yeah.
who should we have, right? Who should be our moonshot? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, probably Noah would be a pretty fantastic moonshot.
That'd be good.
Um, yeah, but yeah,
Cool. Well, we've had Gabe on here before. We've never had Levi
we
pop on.
haven't had Levi pop
So
on.
if Levi wanted to pop on, I could actually meet him. You know, I
If
mean,
you would stop ducking out of, like, you know, sales lab, you know, Levi, he texted me. He was like, "Hey, is Levi in there?" And I'm
yeah,
like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Cool, I won't be there."
dude, that's inside baseball. You're not supposed to share that stuff.
Oh man.
Yeah. Um, yeah, we just get it. So far as I know, Levi's a ghost because I hear these stories and I see his profiles around, but I've actually never seen his face, you know.
He actually messaged me the other day, and he goes, "I feel like I got to get on board with this shoe thing, or else you guys are going to stop wanting to hang out with me." I said, "Man, not at all. You're totally allowed to
No,
be
everybody
whatever
gets
you're
their
in."
own thing.
Yeah.
That's what's awesome about it.
I will say that when he saw the Gatorades, he was like, "Okay, I can get behind those." And I was like,
Really, of all
"Of all of
the
them, yeah,
things,
I don't. I mean,
that's like a pit bull. It's like it's so ugly, it's pretty, you
easy,
know?
bro." Man, when I get those, I'm just gonna, like, put them, like, right here on the Bowie shelf, right?
Yes. Thank you.
You
Thank you.
know, and then Melissa will just be angry at me.
Yeah, she'll swat them off so fast that they might not even land fully before she swats them off.
I get up before she does. Um,
True. It's true. But she has like a Bowie sonar. Like she can feel the things.
so she's got these Lego minifigs over there of Bowie, and like I'll mess with them and I'll put them in different, you know, positions and stuff, and she just gets mad, and I'm like, but she always knows, you know, so she'll come in and she'll just look for them
What
now.
happened
Yeah,
here?
exactly. So funny.
So Levi says if you're gonna make purely stylistic decisions, might as well go nuts.
Exactly. But hey, there's a middle ground, Levi. There's room in the middle. Paint with a thinner brush, my friend. You can have some use as well as some flash. It doesn't have to be all show, no go.
It's true. It's totally true. But I do definitely have a couple pairs of shoes in my life that were pure show because they hurt like hell to wear. But I was like this officially makes me X% woman, like because heels are the same way, right? Anybody I've ever dated or been like,
Yeah.
how can you wear heels? That's insane. They're like, well, they're horrible. I hate them. They feel horrible. But look at them. Look how awesome.
Yeah.
I can get that because I've had two pairs of shoes where I'm like, I don't care. I'm wearing them.
Yeah. I am I was at a training and I was up in Denver. I was working for Al, and so me and Nanette are up there, and we're taking this tour of this stem cell facility. And you know, I'm dressed in slacks. I've got my dress shoes on and stuff. And they were newer dress shoes. I think I still have these shoes actually. And by the end of the trip, my like baby toe was just like unhappy, like, and I'm kind of like trying not to limp through the airport as we're leaving and stuff, you know, because most of my time was spent in the OR, and you could wear whatever shoes you wanted, you know,
Right.
because it didn't matter. So like I was really out of practice of wearing like the super nice dress shoes, and man, it was brutal. And I was just like, why, like, you know. And yeah, I still, yeah, I have a pair of nice brown shoes, a pair of nice black shoes, but like they're in boxes, and honestly, I could not tell you where they are, like right here at this moment. So,
Yep. Well, you do what you do, right?
You do what you do. So Jake, how do you feel about 2020 compared to like what you thought 2020 was going to be, right? Like in January when you were, figuring out your goals in your year and stuff like that. How far off are you from what you thought was going to happen this year?
Let's see. I'm going to break that into two categories: the monetary side, and then just the satisfaction.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Monetarily, I am actually probably 80% of what I was shooting for, um, which I think, given the year, is really
Pretty
nice.
significant.
I feel really good. I feel, which leads into my satisfaction part, which, because I'm not hugely driven by money, so making more than I would have planned would not have made me happier necessarily
Yeah.
on the year. It would have been nice, but yes. But I'm probably, I think, meaning at the end of the year, I think I will be about 80% of what my goal for this year was. That's the pace I'm on, which I'm feeling good about that. Because I set myself a good lofty goal. So hitting 80% would still hit me probably more than last year, I think.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And then satisfaction wise, I am really, really happy with the work I'm doing right now. And I think it's partially due to COVID, because when we've talked about this a couple of times, seems like you talk to most anybody who's in business, somebody has some sort of shared experience like this year. Is COVID either like beat you down and you hate life right now and your business shut down or something like that, right? Like, or you took the time to kind of pause and reset and reassess what you're doing, and you've come out stronger on the other side of it. And that's exactly where I'm at. I feel great about it. Would I ask for it? No, definitely not. But after the first few weeks, and it was more just like selfish, like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is dumb. Like, I want to go outside. After I got past that, man, it's been great. How about you?
It's funny. I was looking over the goals as I had kind of written them down, in January, and my whole world has shifted so significantly that those goals feel remarkably disconnected from myself and the
Reality.
stuff that I'm working on now.
Yeah.
Because like my big goal was to have 5,000 people on like each one of those mailing lists, John Small Mountain, Adapted Growth, and for Sale Throwdown. And largely we've not gone in that direction. Like of really focusing on like building the email list and stuff like that, because of all the COVID. Like I don't think I've said this out loud, but in January, February, I was doing 17K a month, right, in revenue and stuff like this. COVID hits, some huge changes happen. I lose a couple of clients. I lose a very big partnership, and I go all the way down to 3K per month, which is a pretty big swing. And then panic, not like full on panic, but just like, all right, like let's get to work. And that struggle has made me, I would say, a lot better, right, of like knowing who I am and all of that stuff. But it's weird because like I found that page and I was looking at it and it's like, man, like it feels like those goals were just built in a vacuum for no really great reason, kind of thing. So I just thought it was interesting. So I saw that last night in my journaling, and I need to ask Jake how close he is. Revenue wise, we're not back at like 17K per month or whatever, but we're doing way better than before. And largely it's because I took that second to, okay, like how can I help the most in this thing? And it's, looking for the closers and helping people and doing that stuff. But I gotta take a step back from that a little bit.
Yeah. Did you in that kind of step back and look at your bigger goals when you looked at that at all last night to go, okay, if those are set in a vacuum for no real reason, do I have something now on my brain that is kind of more tethered to something I want to go towards? Or was it just more just the realization of going, oh, I'm not even sure why I picked that necessarily?
That's a good question. Part of it was like, excuse me, part of it was like just shiny stuff and distraction and, trying to like figure it out, because I do feel like if you're going to sell via email and you're really focused on doing that, which is kind of what I was planning on doing at the beginning of the year, I feel like that's a long play, right? So then all of this stuff kind of comes crashing down, and I can't really focus on like a long play attitude. It's like, let's hustle it up, and that's when, all the Facebook stuff with the daily value posts and everything else to get some authority built and everything else. Because now, when I put out an offer or, a request or whatever, then the network delivers, which is the goal, right? The plan. But it, I mean, part of it is just the landscape is so different, right? If COVID hadn't happened, my revenue hadn't dropped off, I would be irritated that I hadn't hit these goals, right? But since like it feels like the world has gone berk, back on itself, I don't feel bad about it, which is really interesting because I'm normally pretty hard on myself whenever I don't hit my goals.
Yep, definitely.
So the one goal that I think I will hit before the end of the year is to be, I'd originally said 200 pounds at the beginning of this year. And then I talked to some people and they were like, don't do 200 pounds. You're going to look, you're going to look way too lean. So the goal is to hit 210 and I'm at 215. I was 240. I was 245 in January. So.
Yeah, that's good. Congrats, buddy. Especially with all those baked goods.
Slow and steady wins the race, man. Right?
Absolutely.
Intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting, just paying a little bit more attention, we were really good about doing meal prep at the beginning of the year. We've kind of fallen off of there because once again, kind of hard to get out and go to Costco and buy the buckets of meat that we were going through. So, would like to get back on that, but, I think it'd be interesting to be 210, right? Because I largely don't feel that much different. When I look at pictures of myself, I obviously look different because the beard and the hair, mostly, but I mean, my face is a little thinner, but I don't really think I look that much different. So.
Yeah. That's interesting. Everyone carries it differently. And that's good. That's impressive.
Yeah, well, we'll see if I mean, this is the hardest part of the year for me, right? So we'll see if I can get that 210 with all the holiday eating and all of that stuff. It might be 210 for a day, but we should hit it.
As long as December 31st, you're at 210, you're good, right? It's 218 the week before, but
yeah, I just water
get the
fast.
trash bags.
Yeah, let's get in the sauna.
Come on, bro, let's go. This is the third time today, dude. I think you're gonna pass out.
What do you think you want to do next year as far as goals? I mean, have you put any time towards that? Because like, I firmly believe that you do that in December. You don't wait until January, right? Because if you wait until January, you're already behind.
No, so October is when I actually normally start thinking about that. Just kind of my own personal pattern because December just disappears. Like it is the fastest month of the year every year. It's just gone. So it's almost like November is like the last legit month of the year, which means I need to start the month before that. It's kind of always been my mindset. And that's actually what I meant. Like next week, like I want to start seeding some ideas for next year.
Nice.
As I'm thinking about it over the weekend, because I want my 12 week to include my yearly planning. Have that in there as a piece of what goes on in that 12 weeks. So I need to start thinking about it. And I have a couple ideas. But I need to kind of spend some time on it and think about it and, spend some time around it. And, but yeah, I'm already thinking about it. What about
you? Seeing that page made me kind of, whoa, time to do that again. And then, okay, how do I do that better? Mm-hmm. What goals are important to me and stuff like this? And it's like shifted a lot actually over the course of this year from just like revenue goals and these kind of quant based things to much more around like, okay, I need to build the team the right way. I need to make sure that I've got the right people in the right spots on the bus, the good to great analogy there. So it's much more around that. And the big, after we got done with everything, I was showering last night and it's like, man, I need to build a cadre or a jiaogar is what it's called in Kung Fu of like high performing salespeople who are just like ride or die, like, let's go, I'll teach you to sell anything because it's mostly mindset driven. Once you have a process that works, you can put anything into it. It's just understanding what's going on, putting yourself absolutely in the shoes of the other person, slowing down enough so we're listening well. But yeah, I need probably 5 to 10 people who like really want to put the pedal to the metal and do this stuff and are along for the ride. So that way, as these spots are coming up, it's just like, all right, you go into here, you go in here, and stuff like that. So trying to figure out how I'm going to do that, as well as all the other stuff I do. So that's going to be a big component of, my fourth quarter and next year.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting because, trying to think where I saw this. You sent me a message on something. Anyway, you and I have different like ways and philosophies on how we approach work. Because I'm one of those people that I feel like I want to concentrate on one major thing at a time, and then I can have stuff on the side to keep my brain busy or whatever. But I'm really trying to give all my effort to one thing. And you like to have like 4 plates spinning. Like you love having multiple things going, and I can understand that. So it'd be, I think it'd be interesting to see how we both go about our 12-week planning differently, and even kind of thinking about our yearly plan next year differently. Because mine's tightening, mine's getting thinner or more narrow towards kind of a big goal that like these 3 things have to happen to hit this one big goal, and yours is more eclectic, I think. Of this and this and this, and they're going to connect these different ways and things like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out, and how the process helps each of us, the same process, do 2 different things. How that goes.
Well, the thing is that it's not just like a shiny thing a shiny thing for the sake of a shiny thing, right? It's all kind of deliberate, right? And I guess on one of these we should maybe I should go into like a deeper dive of like what all these things are, so that way if people would be interested in that, I would be open to doing it. But it's I can pull back the curtain if people would like to see it, but if not, that's totally fine as well. But
yeah, we could do a short version too. We could just we could show a whiteboard of kind of our structure to where we're headed to a big goal, and how we're getting there different ways. Might be interesting to see. Michelle wanted to say that's awesome for you, by the way, on the weight loss.
Oh, thanks, Michelle.
Levi said the holiday COVID combo is going to be savage on the waistlines. It could be.
Intermittent fasting, bro. 12 to 8.
That's right. That could be helpful. And then Mike Tao said the stark contrast between Jake and John is the hair versus the
What's up, Mike? It's good to see you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's all purposeful, right? And it's weird because like some people are like, man, like do you ever take breaks? And like I don't really think I'm like at like a manic level of obsessed with work. I mean, there's a level of focus to get to where I want to go, but it's not just like obsessed with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I can feel that kind of a little further over here, but I don't really feel like I'm there yet. So yeah, and the focus is now, okay, cool, I need partners in the right key spots, right? And so honestly, whenever Jake and I were talking about launching this thing, Jake was like, hey, let's do it and put it on video. And I was like, well, I don't really have much time to do anything else other than show up and have the conversations as we were planning on having them. And so now it's about setting the expectations about my involvement in the projects the right way. We're doing a part of the real estate thing is wholesaling, and I'm working with a couple of really cool people and friends who have done it. And so I provide a little bit of value in a very niche, segment. And then another friend of mine who's a sales coach and enjoys doing this stuff, he's got some experience, and another guy has got his license and is also an attorney and can help out with that. But we built out my share of that to be very, very small, because I'm like, I want the reps and I want to experiment, but eventually this will be mostly the other guy. So I took a what I felt was favorable and mutually agreed upon split on that, much more weighted in his favor, because I'm just there as kind of like the scaling element in that project. Versus in the other part of the real estate thing, I'm not the scaling component. I'm just kind of the final decision maker, so it's about you can get a lot more done when you trust people in the right spots. And that's kind of the thing that I'm going on. Because it makes me wildly uncomfortable, right? Like I am a bit of a control freak. Like I think that everybody wants to believe that they're easygoing, but at the end of the day, I'm not that easygoing. Like I'm just not, and the more that I become self-aware and do the work, it's just like, okay, I'm not just like, hey, whatever's happened is gonna, like, no, that doesn't work for me. And I can't really thrive in environments where like that's the expectation. So I don't put myself in those environments anymore. So it becomes a lot pickier about who I work with and what kind of projects I'm willing to do and stuff like that. But the finding the right people and putting the amount of trust into them is very, very difficult because I want to micromanage. I want to overcoach, and all these things we've talked about. So I find that to be kind of interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So the fact that that's a struggle for you, and the fact that you're involved in numerous different projects where you can't do that, is either a testament to that you're trying to make yourself uncomfortable and be okay with that, which probably some of them are for sure, or shiny. Is there a ping back and forth between that for you?
Well, to me, like I've really become invested in this idea of balance, right? And so there are some ranges in some areas in my, field that I have a lot of control over. So then to kind of balance that out, it's like, okay, let's go find good environments to where I can't have as much control, but still have the level, like a little bit of control. So that way we're moving things forward.
Right. Okay.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So part of it's balance. Part of it is also just, people, I guess, kind of like working with me as long as there's a mutual understanding of how I work, and certain things have to be done a certain way and stuff like that. I don't know, it's weird to say that because it makes me sound very I don't know, hard to work with. Like, and I don't really know that I'm hard to work with. I just have pretty high standards, and I don't ask anybody else to do anything I'm not willing to do. So
right. Yeah, I mean, everyone has different work styles, and I think most people are controlling. I don't think anybody's not controlling. There are areas in everyone's life that they want control over. It's just how heavy you need the control, how much of that you need to feel comfortable. Because if you look at it as from like the person that's supposed to be this easygoing whatever, the control they want is freedom. Like, I don't want to be told what to do to an extreme level. Like, I just want to go with whatever. But that's control too, just on a different area, different way.
So by being a C, right, a C personality type, I have a couple of things that like I need to feel okay in most cases, right? I need to be technically correct, which makes me very argumentative, right? I didn't say all people, I said some people, and that kind of stuff. We've talked about that.
Yeah.
The other part of it is that I'm very fact driven, right? And so it's versus a D who's going to be task driven and gut driven. They just jump without looking and just trust that they're going to be okay. Like, I don't operate that way. Yeah. And so it's, how do I say this? It's really interesting that I'm becoming a little bit gut driven in the fact that I can do these things, right? Whereas before it would always be like, well, I'm not really sure, so let's slow this whole thing down, and I would lose momentum, and I would lose some vision on some projects and things like this that could have gone a different way. And so now it's this kind of gut confidence that, like, yeah, I can do this, right? There's going to be some things we got to figure out, but we'll get through it and figure it out. It's been an interesting shift away from being just purely, have I done this before? No. So do I feel confident? No. It's like, well, I've done something close to this, so I can probably get this thing done.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's a muscle also that you can work. And it's like the figure outable, like everything's figure outable. And once you've kind of done that a few times and seen a little success, you go, oh, okay, this is figure outable. Okay, let's go do this. Of course, like you mentioned, I'm naturally that way to a fault. So like, that's why, same reason, like I do well to hang out with C's, because they check me on my gut stuff to go, okay, well, how do you know that? Like, show me some information how you made that decision. And the gut driven person can go, well, I just know. I did it
Yeah.
before, that way it's going to work again. Like, okay, well, let's talk about this. So it's good, right? It's a good thing to have that, the balance, checks and balances, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's because these disk states are not fixed, right? As people become um, more entrepreneurial and stuff like this, like you naturally shift to that D side of things because like D's make decisions, right? And they, the good ones make it with the right information, and the bad ones make it with flawed information. But the decision makers, right, taking action, gut driven people typically can do that faster, right? And so when you see C-level executives in most companies, they're typically Ds, right? They've got a lot of access to that D side.
Mm-hmm.
So um, part of like what I'm doing is I'm trying to force myself into that mindset as much as I can of, hey, should we do this or this? Well, let's do this, right? That makes me wildly uncomfortable because it's like, okay, what do you think we should do? Because I do want buy-in. And then I also want to go double check their research and their thoughts to make sure that it matches up with mine, which just indicates a lack of trust in the people that I'm working with, right? You have to trust somebody fully, or they probably shouldn't be on your team, right? You should have some sort of plan about how you're going to build that trust, um, and that
Right.
and that is that's becoming more and more important to me, whereas it wasn't a couple of years ago.
I think that's the most apparent reason as a business owner that you should hire well. Like, there's 1,000 reasons you should hire well, but like the amount of momentum that's killed every single day when you don't trust your teammates
Yeah.
alone is the reason to spend time really doing a good job hiring
Yeah.
your partners and things like that.
A couple of weeks ago, we were working on this real estate issue for one of the real estate sites, and our one of our developers was stuck on it, and so Melissa was like, "I'm going to get in the back end of WooCommerce. I'm going to figure this out." And I was like, "How many times have you even looked at the back end of WooCommerce?" She said, "None." And I was like, "Okay, is this really the best use of your time?" And she's like, "Well, I just want to go in there and say that we did everything we could." And I was like, "If you don't trust this guy, he doesn't need to be on the team. We can let him go, and then you can help me find and vet the next person, because you have to be able to feel comfortable to sign off on somebody else's work. It's not your ability to do the work." And I had the same conversation with my sister because she got a promotion at her job and she is like a manager now, which is like super cool because she hasn't had the role for very long, and is really concerned about doing it well. So we had the conversation of like, when you're in management, it's not about how well you can do the job, it's about how well can you get other people to do their jobs, right? Buy in. Are they bought in? Are they part of this, or are they just checking the boxes to like not get fired? And that to me is interesting, right? Because like I'm having to drink that medicine for myself of like, okay, right.
From your
And
side.
well, it's so Melissa, who is amazing, right, always is a little unconfident. Hey, can you read this email before I send it? I can. Do I need to?
Uh-huh.
Well, I would like you to. Okay. So like I'm trying to be like
Yep.
pushing her like out of the nest and stuff like this, and it's just like, I trust you completely. I trust you completely. She's like, you don't even want to read this, and I'm like, it's just an email. Is it short? Yeah, it's short. Okay, good. Right. Email is not the place where you're supposed to be, or transactional emails back and forth is not where you should be going super deep and
Right.
trying to inject feeling and tone and stuff like that. Like those are sales emails, and that's different. This is just get them to a call, get them to a call, get them to a call. Figure out the problem. All this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And with she edits the Sherpas, she edits all the blog posts, she edits the book and stuff like that. And she's like, well, do you like these changes? And I was like, I like every change you have ever done. I don't even need to look at it. I trust you completely, And so it's just like trying to do that, trying to do that, trying to do that. Man, it's hard. It's easier because I'm consciously forcing myself to do these things. But in the beginning, it's like, yeah, I'll just take a look real quick, kind of thing. Because it's like, well, if you don't feel confident, then how do I feel confident? But
Right.
but here's the deal: if I'm not giving her like confidence strokes, on a regular basis, she might not ever get there. We have a lot of history outside of working together we've been together for 16 years. We worked together for one. There was a long period of time where I was not this self-aware, and was kind of a, selfish asshole, just gonna put it that way. And so it's been, I have to rewrite a lot of history, I guess, right? As like the boss and also all these things.
Yep, makes sense.
Bit of a ramble there, but like it's hard to put that in there. But like if you have people, and this is crazy because I talk to people all the time who just don't trust salespeople, right? Well, why would I pay them a base? Well, do you want them to stay? Right? Because if you put somebody on commission only, somebody else will as well. And if they're going to pay them more commission than you are, and that's the only benefit that you're giving them, why would they stay with you?
No
right?
loyalty. Mm-hmm.
Everybody's got a funnel. Everybody has a high ticket offer, right? Everybody's got a course. Everybody has something.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not incentivizing them in the right way, they will leave, right? It's gig economy for sales, which is totally like I think it's going to be a great thing in the long run. It's going to take a while to get there, but you have to do it the right way, right? I mean, just how do you value your people? There was a sales team that I was working with, and the management made them come in every Friday at noon to document who they had talked to, where they had spent their time, did they hit their activity goals and stuff like that. And I said, why Friday afternoon? And they're like, well, we just want to know where they were. And it's like, well, when they give you the paper, do you believe that? Oh, well, absolutely. So maybe we put this into like a digital format and make it a little bit easier, and that way they can do it throughout the week as opposed to just coming in on a Friday. Oh yeah. And I'm like, okay, so then what happens on these Friday afternoons? And they're like, well, we'll find something to do. And no, right?
Well,
give them that time, right? If they're on track, if they've hit their activity goals, they've hit their KPIs and everything else like this, let them go home, right? Yeah. It's kind of like this idea that like school has got to be like 8 to 3, kind of deal. And one of the things I love about Alice's school is that they're doing this like async learning, right? There's a Zoom session in the morning and a Zoom session in the evening, and you get to come to whichever one you want. And as long as your homework is turned in by midnight, they don't care,
Yep.
And that's awesome because like that's what like good homeschooling is as well, right? It's not just this like learn to sit and everything else.
Yes.
So
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a deep hole too.
Deep hole, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I kind of lost my thread as I got really excited about Alice's school, but because I just think it's really cool, and their teachers are trying to do it the right way. There was this like they do these blooper outtakes, because everything's being delivered via video and Google Classroom and stuff. And so 2 of Alice's teachers are trying to like coordinate a clap, so that way there's a sound spike, so that way they can pair it with the video and stuff. And I just think that it's awesome that they're doing all the same stuff that like you and I are doing,
Right.
and all these, and it's funny that everybody's having to do these kinds of things. And I just think it's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
that's good. Yep, cool, man. Well, it's 8:40.
It is 8:40, man.
Let's wrap for today.
Let's wrap. I gotta make some coffee because I didn't go on my walk. I've not done my morning pages. My day is way off track already. So
does that mean you do an abbreviated version now, or does you go full in and do the whole thing anyway, or what's that look like?
So normally my schedule runs 9 to 11 is blocked out for deep work stuff, right? And that's where I normally do my project time and stuff like that. I normally don't do any calls, but Mike was really wanting to get this done, and because he is who he is and had it was crazy. He was like, yes, I would like to work on these things sales wise. Yes. And I was like, since you have a list, we can do this. Let's go. Because normally I don't work with people in quite this rapid rush of a program, but he knows his stuff, and he knows
killer. Yeah,
he knew exactly what he wanted, and I was like, cool,
like, okay.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So we're meeting at 9, so I will not have time to go through the whole process, but I'll probably sit down. I've already written my affirmational stuff for today in my kind of daily log, but I'll probably sit down and try to get some questions out of my head, get some coffee started before I do that. The walk will have to be probably after 4:30.
Yeah. I'm gonna do mine later as well. That down. Okay, cool. All right. Well,
how can I help you with your writing today, Bill? If anything.
I don't know, but I will hit you up on Discord.
Okay.
So I may run some of that past you, just get some different thoughts that way. I think that would be helpful too. Just
Okay.
different thoughts on it.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, let's wrap because I need some coffee. And
Yep.
yeah, let's
We
go.
can get rolling. Cool. All right. Tell Mike I said hey.
I will. All right, buddy.
All right.
See you,
Well,
pal.
see you.